When people think about pizza, they usually think about cravings, delivery, or that one slice everyone fights over. But behind every pizza box is a much bigger business battle. The pizza industry is no longer just about who has the best crust or the cheesiest slice. It is now a fight over something else. Good day. We are the Innamou Consultancy Group. I'm Christine, and together with Jai, Mary, Kelsey, and Cheryl, let's take a strategic look, focusing on 𝗵𝗇𝗇𝗫 and how it stands in the battlefield against its major rivals, the current market leader, Domino's Pizza, and another pizza giant, the Pizza Hut, all of which are competing for the slice of success. Before we compare, we need to know the environment through PESTLE. Politically, it is under a threat but in moderate severity. There is a growing nutrition policy pressure, plus the trade and import conditions that may affect costs. However, these pressures are manageable for established firms with compliance systems and franchise structures. For economics, demand for restaurants is strong as US consumers are spending heavily on food prepared outside their homes. However, input costs and other inflationary factors continuously pressures profitability, which is overall a high severity threat. Social-cultural factors on a bright side is an opportunity with high severity. Consumer lifestyles strongly favor convenience, and pizza aligns well with that demand. Nearly 75% of restaurant traffic now happens off-premises, with mobile ordering as the mainstream. Customers expect speed, and although there is a growing concern in nutrition, this is just a slight pressure. Also, digital ordering is so common nowadays. The technology is rated as an opportunity with high severity. Customers expect apps, websites, and more. Restaurant operators are constantly in a lookout to invest in AI and other technologies. For legal factors, pizza chains are strictly required to follow labor law, franchising rules, and more. All of these are a threat with moderate to high severity. Lastly, the growing environmental pressures such as reducing food waste and sourcing ingredients more responsibly are becoming too important to ignore. These can be assessed as a moderate threat. Now that we know a brief of the industry, it's time to scan industry competitiveness with Porter's 5 forces. First, the rivalry among competitors is strong. The pizza and QSR industry is highly saturated with major players and smaller firms. They offer similar products, operate in almost similar digital platforms with aggressive marketing. Second, the threat of new entrants is weak to moderate. While it is relatively easy to start a small pizza business, scaling up is much more difficult. Barriers such as strong brand loyalty, advanced delivery systems make it more challenging to compete on a large scale. Third, the threat of substitutes is strong because customers have many alternatives to pizza, such as sandwiches or even healthier options. There are also other fast food products like burgers and fried chicken that serve as indirect substitutes. More importantly, the bargaining power of buyers is strong because customers have many options and can easily switch between these brands. Price sensitivity is also high because they can quickly compare prices. And finally, the bargaining power of suppliers is weak. Pizza ingredients are widely available from multiple suppliers, and many companies can purchase this in bulk and negotiate better deals. Overall, the pizza industry is highly competitive and saturated industry with an even higher threat of substitutes. Customers have the upper hand, making the industry moderately unattractive. After dipping into the external environment and the competitive forces, the big question now is, what does it actually take to win in the pizza industry? Looking at our pizza map, the first and most important factor is cost leadership, because rising costs are putting pressures on margins. Digital capability and delivery speed are also critical, because customers now expect fast, convenient, and tech-enabled ordering. Customer loyalty and value pricing is also important, since buyers have many choices and can easily switch if they find a better deal elsewhere. To support operations, firms also need supply resilience, franchise alignment, and product innovation to efficiently respond in a consistent standard in different markets. Finally, pizza companies must comply with regulatory readiness and sustainability. Now, let's see who's actually built to win. For a quick historical background, Pizza Hut came first in 1958, and it became known for its global scale and broad customer access. Then came in Domino's in 1960s, which built its strength around delivery, efficiency, and value. 𝗵𝗇𝗇𝗫 entered later in 1984 and positioned itself through its promise of better ingredients, better pizza. Even from their histories, we can already see that each one built a different competitive identity. Let the battle between these pizza firms begin. Round 1. The financials. These firms varied in terms of revenue generation. 𝗵𝗇𝗇𝗫 has a large share from restaurant and supply chain sales, with Domino's having the biggest share from the latter. Meanwhile, Pizza Hut has the highest share from franchise fees and royalties. For Papa John's, its revenue shows that it is more involved in operations for better quality to support their brand promise. For Domino's, it earns a large portion of revenue from supplying products to its franchise stores, meaning supply chain is a major part of their business model. For Pizza Hut, the revenue mix is very different. 92% of its revenue basically comes from franchise fees. They do not carry restaurant-level costs. Looking more closely, Pizza Hut stands out because it operates globally and it does not own or manage physical assets. They execute the franchise-first model very well since they let go of carrying any operating costs, with a big part of their value or monetization coming from their brand name and system reputation. In terms of revenue growth, Papa John's started strong but slowed down and became relatively flat. Pizza Hut also had fluctuations with a decline followed by recovery. Domino's had a small dip and the company quickly bounced back. Papa John's started in the weakest position. In 21 to 22, it placed third among the three companies. In 23 to 24, Papa John's moved up to second place. However, this does not necessarily mean the company became very strong. In 2024, for example, Papa John's was still in negative growth but it performed slightly better than Pizza Hut. By 2025, Papa John's dropped back to third place again, meaning its recovery was not sustained. In DuPont analysis, Pizza Hut shows the cleanest return on equity at 34%. It makes sense because they operate efficiently in translating revenue to profit. For Papa John's and Domino's, they both show negative returns on equity. In our previous video covering Papa John's internal analysis, their negative equity is buyback driven because the balance sheet clearly shows a negative treasury stock of about $1.1 billion. For Domino's, the balance sheet shows a negative equity because of a very high debt. Again, Domino's has the highest operating revenue among the three, with its revenue mostly coming from its supply chain. Domino's had the highest advertising scale among the three. Their advertising efforts translate to US brand perception, with Papa John's scoring 79 in ACSI, suggesting that even with a smaller scale, it maintains an effective brand positioning. Despite negative return on equity earlier, Domino's return on asset is 34.85%, meaning it uses its asset more efficiently to generate profit. Meanwhile, Papa John's shows only 3.71%. For liquidity, Pizza Hut has the strongest current ratio with Papa John's being the second weakest position. Over the years, Papa John's working capital stayed negative most of the time, which is concerning. Also, Pizza Hut appears more stable while Papa John's and Domino's show negative or changing debt to equity ratios because of their equity structure. For interest coverage, all three can still cover their interest expenses. However, Papa John's dropped from its previous high, indicating that its financial cushion is getting weaker, while the other two remained more stable. Moreover, Domino's performed the best in terms of same-store sales with positive growth. Pizza Hut is slightly negative, while Papa John's has the biggest decline. It's struggling in keeping sales from existing stores. Business in this industry is tied with franchising strategy. By rival difference in percentage, Pizza Hut is the most asset-light, followed by Domino's 98.82% franchise units, and finally, Papa John's with highest corporate ownership at 9.15%. To conclude, Papa John's is more asset-heavy, carrying the most in operating burden. Meanwhile, Domino's Pizza focuses on supply chain strength, which translates into the strongest revenue, and Pizza Hut absorbs its revenue to profit the most, making it the most efficient. Round 2. The Value Chain Strategy. In our previous video, we analyzed Papa John's value chain activities and we were able to identify the company's current competitive strategy. To recap, Papa John's focuses on quality ingredients. It skews in supply chain, fresh dough, and then some others. These make the brand different from competitors. But at the same time, they still need fast delivery, good customer experience, competitive pricing, and more. So even if Papa John's wants to stand out through quality, it also has to manage costs and offer value because the pizza industry is very competitive. We now move to identifying the value chain activities of its rivals. First, with Domino's. With a firm infrastructure that is a highly franchise-heavy business model, it recognizes three business segments that help organize operations clearly with its main headquarters in Michigan. They are guided by the hungry for more strategy as their long-term growth direction. Domino's has a strong internal people system because it develops talent from within. They reported that new franchisees often come from inside the system, including former delivery drivers, and it had over 100 future US franchisees in the pipeline. They support their franchisees through formal training and they employ advanced technologies to make their job easier. Similar to Papa John's, more than 85% of Domino's domestic sales came from digital channels. They currently employ the Pulse POS system, DOMOS, for smoother restaurant operations. For customer experience, Domino's Tracker, GPS, rewards, and more are being utilized. Lastly, Domino partners with Microsoft for plans in automated operations. Domino's Pizza also manages sourcing at the company level. It uses long-term supplier relationships for key inputs like cheese. Because it operates at a large scale, it also has a stronger purchasing power. Domino's Pizza uses supplier audits and food safety standards. Vertically integrated dough manufacturing and supply chain system is central to the business as well. They have a large centralized network to help support faster, more efficient operations. Take note that their supply chain revenue reached around $2.99 billion. Domino's Pizza store system is built around simplicity and repeatable execution. Their hungry for more strategy is their main pillar to operational efficiency. Delivery remains central to the brand but carry out gains traction, making up around 40% of US retail sales. Their fortressing strategy supports this to make carry out more accessible. Domino's also partnered with Uber and DoorDash and rolled out more than 800 electric vehicles. They also combine value messaging and large-scale advertising consistently to their customers and their franchisees. They reach around 35.7 million active members of the reward system, and other value campaigns are the Emergency Pizza, U-Tip, V-Tip, and Best Deal Ever, which appeal to price-sensitive customers. Domino's Rewards is central for customer retention, as it encourages repeat purchases, all while constantly improving after-sales experience through tracker and GPS. Another point is their service recovery mindset champion our customers' value. After analyzing Domino's value chain activities, we concluded that its current strategy is best cost provider with operational excellence. They are operationally excellent as their vertically integrated supply chain, procurement scale, and internal operations are consistently aligned. They are a best cost provider because these operations give customers strong value, not just through low prices, but through a combination of affordable deals. Continued commitment to fortressing and delivery or carry-out excellence is commendable. They keep their products simple and compete by offering good value and reliable execution. Now, let's move on to Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut operates under Yum! Brand's global corporate system. It is dubbed as the most asset-light firm and simultaneously benefits from Yum's corporate priorities like Raise the Bar strategy. However, it is also under strategic review to improve its future performance. Pizza Hut benefits from Yum! Brand's broader training and leadership systems. At the store level, operations are guided by restaurant general managers and area coaches. Pizza Hut also benefits from Yum's training tools including Hard Styles, Bite Coach, and AR-based coaching to improve employee operational execution. Finally, since there is a major shift away from underperforming dine-in formats, there is a store restructuring that creates labor instability. Since Pizza Hut is highly franchise-based, most staffing and firing decisions are handled by the franchisees. Pizza Hut benefits from Yum! Brand's shared digital ecosystem, especially Bite by Yum, wherein they use tools like Dragontail and Bite Kitchen and Delivery. In the US, Bite Kitchen and Delivery help reduce delivery times by up to 5 minutes and increase customer satisfaction by 7%. Bite Coach is also a similar tool, but it focuses on helping managers monitor customer feedback and performance. Yum's digital sales also exceeded $30 billion. Pizza Hut also benefits from Yum! Brand's wide purchasing scale through the RSCS, which helps secure cost-saving prices. Procurement is also supported by quality control. Internationally, sourcing is more flexible and franchisees can work with local or regional approved suppliers. Pizza Hut relies on third-party distributors to deliver ingredients, packaging, and supplies to its restaurants. In the US, McLean supports store-level distribution for many company-owned and franchise locations. For international stores, it uses more local distribution networks. Pizza Hut has less direct operating burden, which allows it to scale. The only risk in operations is brand consistency, and to keep their operations consistent, Pizza Hut uses standardized operating systems such as Chumps. Their operating promise to their internal customers is they want to be hot, fast, and reliable, with tech initiatives that help strengthen these. Pizza Hut uses a wider fulfillment system compared to the other rivals, which gives the brand broad customer access. It has also shifted more strongly toward digital ordering and off-premise channels through the introduction of digital-first store formats and through third-party delivery aggregators. Pizza Hut positions itself as a broad mass-market pizza focused on joy, reliability, and value, attracting customers through menu innovation and value offers that customers can easily respond to through their omni-channel platform. Technology plays a big role to improve retention and customer satisfaction. While complaint handling is less standardized due to the highly franchised nature of Pizza Hut, Bite Coach is their attempt to help managers gather feedback and improve store execution. To wrap up Pizza Hut's value chain, we classify its current strategy. Pizza Hut starts with Yum-backed franchise infrastructure, procurement scale, and standardized store operations, which create the base for operational control. Then training and digital ordering support execution, while Bite by Yum improves kitchen speed and delivery flow. Next is omni-channel fulfillment and format modernization that expands customer access. Finally, value positioning, feedback systems, and menu variety that strengthen brand differentiation through brand appeal, customer retention, and product choice. So overall, Pizza Hut's activities supports broad differentiation with operational excellence. Now we are in the position to evaluate the VRIO framework. For Papa John's resources, most of them are valuable but not rare. Its QC centers, franchise network, and the rest of these help the business operate efficiently. But these are also present in Domino's and Pizza Hut. For intangible resources, Papa John's strongest line item is the better ingredients, better pizza positioning. However, this is just a temporary competitive advantage because competitors can still copy quality claims. For Papa John's capabilities, the result is mostly competitive parity. The company can manage supply chain quality, standardized restaurant execution, train employees, and more of that. But these are not unique. Domino's and Pizza Hut are also strong in these areas. Now, it's time to scan the resources and capabilities of the market leader. For Domino's, several resources create temporary advantages, such as DJ Dough stretchers, branded EVs, and dense store placement. These are valuable and currently stronger than competitors, but they can still be copied over time. Their strongest advantage is their intangible resource of customer or member base and their employee-to-franchisee pipeline. Customer relationship management is harder to imitate, as well as the company's promotion culture, which is built over the years. Now, we move to Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut's resources are really strong because it operates under Yum brands. It has a massive global unit base, strong brand equity, Yum's technology system through Bite by Yum and purchasing scale, but the issue is that not all of these strengths are fully maximized. So these are marked as unused competitive advantages because despite the powerful resources, they should have been the market leader by now, and they weren't able to. Pizza Hut's strongest capabilities are the technology supported by Yum brands, especially the Bite Coach, that gathers customer data and store performance. Data is a very rich asset in this world, and the only challenge for Pizza Hut is to turn these strong capabilities into consistent market performance. Now, here comes the interesting part, the criticism. And a better way to criticize Papa John's is to use the SWOT framework. First, Papa already has a good foundation. Their QC centers are a strong starting point that supports their brand promise, which is honestly a powerful positioning. But maybe Papa John's should not stop at better ingredients. The goal should be better everything. Better value, better delivery, better digital experience, better franchise execution, and of course, better pizza. The weakness is that Papa is smaller and it carries more operating burden. So maybe their transformation plan and employee reduction can be a good move. If Pizza Hut and Domino's can operate a strong franchise system, then Papa should also seriously consider go franchise, go all in, go closer to 99.9%. For opportunities, Papa should start building better franchisees, better execution, and better alignment. Papa John's can take inspiration from fortressing strategy too. Moreover, the threats are very serious here. Papa John's is doomed. Okay, just kidding. The pizza market is crowded, of course, and everyone is so aggressive. So Papa cannot rely on saying better ingredients. It has to prove that the whole experience is better. And for a brand that claims it is growing globally, why are they no longer operating here in the Philippines? We actually wanted to taste these better ingredients, better pizza promise. Now, let's wrap up the obvious winner of the slice. Competing for the slice of cost leadership and value pricing, Domino's is clearly the leader because it combines cost efficiency with strong value deals. Papa John's is in the middle because the quality promise is strong, but if customers are price sensitive, better pizza does not mean anything. Competing for the slice of digital maturity and delivery speed, Domino's is still winning because its technology is directly connected to fast delivery and store execution. Papa John's is improving digitally, but it is still needing stronger store density and other tactics. Competing for the slice of product innovation versus brand loyalty, Domino's is still ahead. Pizza Hut running second with their strong menu variety, while Papa John's rely more on its quality-based loyalty. And finally, competing for the slice of supply chain and franchise alignment, Domino's again leads because its supply chain is tightly connected to franchise execution. Papa John's has a good QC center system, but a smaller scale. Meanwhile, Pizza Hut's supply chain is more decentralized, making execution more complex. That wraps up our external analysis on the session, Competing for the Slice of Success. For you, who do you actually think will win in the 2026 pizza race? Once again, this is Innamou, innovative, navigational, creating momentum just for you.